Welcome, people of the World Wide Web. So it's Cypher Sigma, it's the weekend, and as we know, it's review time. So, this is a movie review. As the title says, Anyone But You. So, this was a movie released the 20. Let me adjust the camera. Apologies. So this was a movie released the 26th of December 2023. So for me, I will class this in the 2023 range. It does this and Next Goal Wins were the two I wanted to see. I finally got round to seeing them all in the beginning of January, so that's a good thing for myself. Anybody who doesn't know or hasn't seen this or doesn't know, it is basically about a man and a woman. They meet in a coffee shop, kind of strike up a date, a connection, stuff. Like they go talk around New York, and then they kind of spend the night together. That they don't sleep together. Well, they do sleep, but don't have sex or anything like this. Unfortunately, due to the circumstances of the next day, both the other one believes that it didn't go very well. This means, and they're kind of quite sour about the whole thing. This then leads them 6 months down the line. The girl, so this is played by Sydney Sweeney. I've not known her from anything else. Apologies, I haven't. She is called Bea or B, B-E-A, not the B, just the letter B. And then obviously we have Glen Powell, who plays Ben. Now obviously Glen Powell we know from Maverick, so he was Hangman, I believe. That was his character in that franchise. I'll put pictures up here of them. So that is it for the main sort of cast to get you going. But obviously, yep, so these two meet up 6 months later because B, her sister, is going out with one of Ben's friends. And obviously then they see each other, they both have bad resentments from there, and they're kind of spiteful a little bit to each other. And then they kind of joke, you know, that their friends are dating, how bad could it be? And then it skips forward a year and a half, which we don't know. They're getting married in Australia, and they're inviting like their close friends. So that's why Ben is invited, and obviously B is invited because she is the bride's, or one of the bride's sisters. So they go to Australia, and obviously it's them kind of coming into contact with each other. Other family members are trying to kind of manipulate stuff, and basically these two together cause chaos, which goes throughout most of this wedding. It's set over kind of the span of a weekend, and obviously in Australia and stuff goes wrong, and that it is very silly. All in all, I did really enjoy this movie. It is a very, I wouldn't say simplistic, but it is the very typical romantic comedy. They go and try and do a few different things here and there. Some work, some don't work. But overall, it's enjoyable watching. Surprisingly, I've seen this. I mean, it's been out since the 26th. I saw it the 15th. So I saw it like almost 3 weeks later, and I would say the cinema was at least a third to a half full of people coming to see this movie, which I was quite surprised. I mean, maybe because it's a chick flick and, you know, but that is it. So let's slap the spoiler warning up and let's get into it. So as I said, obviously this is Sydney Sweeney and Glen Powell, if I can get the names right. So they are the two main actor and actress in this. The only other kind of famous person that I knew personally is Dermot Mulroney. Obviously, he's done a lot of chick flick romantic comedies in the late 90s, early 2000s. He plays the dad of B and her sister, who are visiting the people, or it's B's sister's partner, who's the one who comes from Australia. This is directed by Will Gluck. So the other stuff he has done before, he's done Peter Rabbit 1, Peter Rabbit 2. Sorry, I had to write this. So the Annie remake, he did that. He did Friends with Benefits, Easy A. And I didn't know he was also the creator of the Michael J. Fox TV series about him. So he has quite a lot of talent and quite a lot of stuff behind him. I haven't seen the Michael J. Fox TV series because they never really released it over here, and it's really expensive. One that I am looking out for. But that's just give you background. So as I said, we will get into the story. So I say these two, obviously they meet in a coffee shop because she wants to go to the toilet. He kind of helps her out. Then they kind of chat, have the night away. She sneaks out because she's worried. She's currently on a break with her current boyfriend. He's pissed off that she leaves, and when his mate turns up, he kind of bitches about her not deliberately, but he's angry because she left in the night and they thought they had a good time. She unfortunately just changed her mind and go back because she was like, why am I, this guy's great, I had a nice time, why am I sneaking out? Turns out to go back and overhears this conversation. So from his perspective, she walked out and didn't want anything more to do with him. From her perspective, he was slagging her off after they hit some night together. So they're both, pissed off, and they have both insecurities, and the stuff that comes up about them that they don't really go much into. And this is where I say the two leads are brilliant. I think the actors all round aren't bad. I think the story is hit and miss in places. But anyway, so these two, as I've said, they meet 6 months later in a club, and you can see there's very frosty with them. And then obviously it goes on to the wedding in Australia, and then obviously you have the main guy, Ben, his ex is there, somebody he wants to get interested in, and B, her parents have brought along her ex-fiance, and basically these two decide that as people are trying to get them together because they're angry at each other, they'll pretend to be a couple just to keep people off them. And kind of as this goes on, they kind of start connecting, and then the truth comes out of what happened and why they said what they want, or why did they leave and stuff. And you can see there is a proper connection starting to get there. In between all of this, they start trashing, or not deliberately trashing, but making quite a mockery of this wedding. It all ends up great in the end, as you normally do, and they kind of get together and have the good old gesture at the end, which I think worked really, really well. For the story, it's good flow, good to have happy ending, it's what you expected and stuff. And for me, I say it was good acting by the main people and good acting by the sideman. I think the story was just, as I say, a little bit off. There were comedy moments that just didn't really hit home. The time could have been spent a bit more with something, used in a different way. And stuff like that. There's they could have connected, and there was some funny scenes with a spider, and I won't go into any of these because I don't want to ruin for it. And then there was times where Ben is helping out B's dad because he's trying to learn to swim and stuff like that. It could have been a little bit more of that to see actually more of their sensitive side. I mean, what it all basically comes down to is obviously Ben lost his mum, and he doesn't want to get close to anybody because he doesn't want to get hurt like that, especially when obviously his ex is there because she hurt him as well like that, which you can kind of understand. On B's side, she doesn't really know what she wants in life, kind of. She's doing what her mum wanted to do, and she needs to kind of stand up for herself. But again, she's quite shy and reserved and stuff, and they've both got insecurities, and this is where it comes through. And I think maybe with a little bit more concentration on those insecurities and stuff like that, because there were just moments where they spent the time doing comedy or something, and they kind of build it up, and it makes sense afterwards. But I just think it didn't land as well. There are some funny moments in there. There is a song that is featured. And I recommend you to stay for the credits if you've ever seen the movie The Champions, which was out last year as well. It has a song that kind of features back, and there's some extra stuff on there which I think was quite good. That stuff was really brilliant in the end, and I wish maybe they had used more of that in there. Now it could just be that chick flicks to what they were have become a little watered down, and there isn't as many, but even when they do, they don't put the elements in. I think there was a lot of good elements here, and it worked, and it was a good movie. I would have rated this 6.5 out of 10. I think the leads do very well. They are a good pair. I think overall the story and some of the insecurities and stuff are really well. It just his story altogether just missed in points, and I think that just overall just you don't connect as much or don't laugh as much or something. And I think it's with romantic comedies, you need to kind of get more emotionally involved with the characters, and I think maybe that needed more time on them and stuff, and maybe there was too many characters in there, but who knows. Anyway, that has been my movie review of Anyone But You. Have you seen this movie? What are your thoughts? Please let me know in the comments down below. Otherwise, I've been Cypher Sigma Screen Time, and I shall see you in the next one.